right, Fredo from Slingshot. So, mate, you're here you are into the four-drive world, hey?
Yeah, yeah.
Mate, and you've got this the one-lock system, which works incredibly well, makes it really fast.
Yeah, really easy.
And, you know, I've been riding it, and I've been loving it. So you got your alloy mast here, and I've seen you got the beautiful new carbon in one lock as well.
Yeah, we don't have the carbon integrated mast yet.
No,
Eventually
but I've
we might
seen
do it, but we're being a little bit slow about it just to see how they handle the market.
What a piece of engineering.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
So easy to use. And we're constantly innovating, right? Like the last year was about bringing the one lock to the masses, right? So we had our wings from Phantasm, we moved them over, glide for the intermediate, ease for the beginners, and then a bunch of stabs. And then now we've kind of progressed the line. We've added the flow wings, which are higher aspect.
Yeah, I saw those as well. Yeah, just got shown those as well. It's quite amazing.
And then we've got a bunch of different stabs now that are higher aspect, shorter, longer. Yeah. Kind of all the deal. We're just going to keep bringing stuff out.
What's this one called? The Turbo. Yeah, it just seems to be my favourite.
Yeah, it's really stable, easy to use.
Like, I don't know if I told you, it works so well, I chopped it off and put it on a lift.
Yeah, I mean, I like to hear that.
Yeah, it was amazing, hey?
It's really smooth, stable.
And for 180, if a lot of people go, oh, you know, that's too big. I don't know what it is about this thing, but it just holds.
It's still fast. Yeah, it's got a lower pitch angle. I think it's like 2 degrees instead of the higher ones, and so the lift stays consistent when you're on the swell.
It does, so it doesn't, like a lot of other larger rear stabs, they can plane up with speed. Yeah. This seems to hold.
Yeah, we really want to make sure that the foils, when you start to push them faster, the lift doesn't actually change. And so we do that through the pitch angle of the stabs, but also wingtip twist in the side. So there's actually downforce being created on the tips that fights that lift that's being generated in the center. And so this almost acts like a stabilizer as well.
Is that right, hey?
Yeah.
So this is one foil you would never chop.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I chop them just for fun, but then you do start to get a little bit more lift at high speeds.
Yeah. Alrighty, that's amazing.
Pretty comprehensive line now. We have like the eases that are about 6 AR. Yeah. Super beginner, they work on the E-foil, all that. You can still dock start or do whatever you want. Yeah. And then the glides are mid-tier or mid-range for intermediates. We have 625 all the way up to 1525.
Yeah. Because I'm
a lot of sizes. This is the 825. It's the newest edition. This is my personal favorite in the glide range.
So I'm getting one of those. So that looks really
nice. Pretty nice. And then when you want to bump up to higher aspects to get more projection or efficiency or faster runs, we have the flow wings that are new. That's 11 AR, and those come in 600, 800, 1000. Yeah, wow. And we're just going to keep bringing out sizes and stuff like that. But we want to make sure that it's not too hard to understand the line. Yeah. Right? Like there's probably 50 foil brands here.
It's crazy. Yeah, like, you know, from what happened last year to this year, you know, like when you first introduced the one lock. So you won an award this year for the one lock.
Most innovative. Yeah, it's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Bobby, our foil designer, he spent a lot of time. He was doing basically 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day last year, trying to get the system to what it is today. Yeah, well, it's quite amazing too. So what somebody told me, I couldn't believe how light this alloy mast is. Yeah. So we spent a lot of time on that. We didn't want to make it too heavy, and it's really a lot easier when you don't have the screws, right? Because when you have screws, you got to put little inserts inside the mast for the threads, and so by taking that out, you really lighten it all up, and you make it more affordable for the customer. Yeah, because that's the main thing, is you don't like to use the word access doodad. You got it doesn't have any solid alloy head in there. Yeah. And that removes a lot of the weight. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. There's not a lot of shit you can lose, right? Like you have the mast, the front wing, and the back wing. There's no screws, no tools that you need to keep hold of. So it really makes it easy. And for downwinders, I don't know how the downwinds are in Australia, but here we got to get in a van or a car. Oh, that's just a dream. Yeah, you just take it all apart. Yeah. It's even easy. The foil drive has these screws that hold it on, but on our normal foil, you can pop it off with the flag screws, and so you can take your whole kit apart in like 20 seconds. Yeah, no, that's because we I was with mate Dale, and I put one. I couldn't find a screw, so I had one Torx and one hex head. Yeah. And then, like, it was fine for us, and then somebody else offered to drive us back up. Yeah, and you couldn't take it apart. No, we couldn't take it apart. Yeah, and it's something that, like, you don't really realize until you spend time with the system, but you start to look at the foils that are screwed together as like a rigid system that is a totally different feel when you're dealing with it versus this. It's so easy to try new stuff. Like, it incentivizes you to take out a smaller wing on the front or back wing, so you're willing to try more stuff. And then if you're winging or doing wind sports or something like that, instead of sizing up your hand wing or down, or your kite, you just change out the front wing. And it's way quicker than pumping up a new wing. So. Yeah, because I do a lot of testing, and like I'm used to swapping stuff all the time. Even my mates I surf with every day, they don't change anything. Yeah. You know, when his back's turned, I might chuck a shim in. Yeah, and we're so into the sport, right, that we don't think about the average consumer and how much of a hassle it is and how easy it is to lose parts. Like, we've got spares, like 15 spares in the back of our car, just in case we lose like a shim or the screw for the stabilizer. So you really it's built for the masses, right? Like it's helpful for
And
everybody.
so you really don't recommend any shimming or anything like
We
that?
don't, yeah, you can't shim it. You can maybe shim the mass plate, but everything is built to have the right amount of lift. And what's really nice too, Bobby spent a lot of time on this, is that when you change out your front wing or back wing, because it's so easy, we want to make sure you didn't have to move the mass, because that would defeat the whole purpose. So the center of lift is in the same point on all of our front wings relative to the mast. And so you go from the eases, which are beginner wings, all the way up to the 11AR. No matter what wing you put on, you don't really have to move the mast. Like if you wanted to be really specific about it, you could, but it's within like this much range.
So the distance from the back of the front wing to the mast, does that change much amongst the different file ranges?
Yeah, it does. So as wings get higher aspect, that center of lift moves forward, right? Because it's a skinnier wing, and so the neck gets shorter. This is the distance here. We call that the neck.
You call that the neck,
yeah. So on the flow wings, you'll see it's about half the distance. On these wings, it's greater. On the ease wings, they're so big that you don't really have a neck, but it's all built to keep that center of lift in the same point. And then on the stabilizers, we also control for that. As you go shorter on the stab, there's less leverage over the system. And so you need to bump the shim angle up. So on our shortest stab, that is the smallest, the 145 with a 24 centimeter tail, it's about this long. Shim angle is like 4.3 or something like that. Keeps the lift in the same spot. On the turbo, it's longer, so there's more leverage, and it's a bigger wing. The shim angle gets a lot lower, down to like 2.3 or something like that.
Wow.
And so it's built to control for a lot of these things that we don't really think about because we're so used to just tuning stuff. But it's all about making it as easy as possible to ride and to switch out.
That's cool. And the barcode, what's the barcode for?
Yeah, so you scan it, and then it brings you to our homepage of our One Lock system that helps you with any kind of servicing. We're going to continue to put new stuff on there, like how to sand your foil if you hit a rock. This guy's got a little scratch in it. How do you fix that? How do you change out the latch when it gets older? Each front wing comes with a spare latch. I don't really have to switch them out, but sometimes when you're learning about the system, a lot of people want to tighten it down way too hard. So they can end up crushing the plastic latch. And the reason for the latch crushing is so that we don't end up having our customers break the stabilizer, right? Like this is a $300 part, the latch is a $16 part.
You want to flick that out?
And so you open it here, you can tune this. A lot of people will, in the first time they put it together, they'll bump this all the way out, try to put it in,
put
too much force on it. We don't want them to break the stab, right? So it crushes the plastic latch. We chose the density so that this crushes right before the stab crushes.
So that's just because I noticed when I had it, so you get that spare and is that like a bit of Dyneema?
Yeah, Dyneema line. We tried like steel cables and stuff like that, but the crimps would always pop out. Like we spent a lot of time on the latch, and we decided Dyneema, it works really well. I've had this on my wrist for 10 years now. It's still there. It's a little dirty, but it's still there. We use it in kites all the time. It's really it's really durable, stretch resistant. It does stretch a little bit over time, and that's why we have the adjustability there. And we also, with the system, tried to make sure that you can adjust, you can control for tolerances, right? China or whatever factory you're in building foils, they always come out slightly different, right? And that's why you have these brands having to have QC checks if they need, or like you get the wing and it doesn't fit correctly.
You don't need a rubber mallet in your car anymore.
Exactly. So the way it works is it slides together, right? If it comes out of the mold and it's slightly bigger on the neck, it just doesn't go quite as far, but it still locks in. If it comes out slightly smaller, it goes a little bit further. And so you always get that same amount of stability or of tension in the system by just sliding it further together or further apart. And that latch is really what is the whole system's based upon.
Yeah, and I noticed on the I'll just get to see on the carbon mask, that difference is much less.
So like we talked about, it was about bringing the aluminum mass to the masses at an affordable price. So by taking out the inserts for the screws, that makes it easier to build.
Well, just on that, cheaper. So this is the same weight as some carbon masks I've tested.
It's super light.
It's crazy, and it's stiff.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff.
It sort of defies logic.
Yeah, so the reason that lip is bigger is because we're trying to still keep it affordable. And so it's basically an extruded little collar here. On the carbon mask, of course, it's molded, right? So you can really tune in the trailing edge to make it a lot more streamlined there.
And so like people are going to say, like, how does that, like,
so it doesn't, there's so much turbulent flow, and you can talk to Paul about this all you want. We were talking about it. There's so much turbulent flow. The water's all being messed up by the front wing that by the time you get to here, it's not as important. The reattachment of flow, it's already kind of detached. And so you don't actually notice that lip that much. And on the carbon mask, of course, we want to make them smoother and faster. And so we do take it out a little bit and have it kind of
And
flow
I did
better.
raise the question before, like, why don't you raise them that? But as you say, the
so
tolerance
that's the idea,
has changed.
right? Like the stab moves in and out. If we had a lip there, it would stop at one point.
Stop
and
it,
so
and
a year down the line, it wouldn't be able to pull any further because you have that lip. So,
totally get
it's all
that.
about making a foil that lasts forever, basically.
Well, that's good, mate. Well, you've kidded me up. I'm taking a few home, and I'm stoked to be really
excited
good.
to hear your feedback and see the videos on it.
All right, mate. Thanks very much, friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.